Welcome back, my dear students. In the last class, we discussed about third element of leadership, third element of direction, that is leadership. We understood what is leadership, why leadership is important, what are the characteristics of leadership, what are the qualities of a good leader, then what are the various leadership styles, right? Today, we will discuss about the last element of direction, that is communication. Communication is a key of success. Without communication, there is no survival. Communication is required for the functioning of each and every activity in the organization. If we have to plan, we have to discuss with our team members, right? Even though the planning activity, it takes place inside the mind, ideas are generated in the mind, the generated ideas should be communicated to the fellow members, right? This is my idea, we can do this, my plan is like this. That communication, if it has to take place, then we have to speak, right? So, communication is foremost important activity in an organization. If we have to allot the duties, job, if you have to fix authority responsibility relationship, then there is also communication needed, right? If we have to intake the required human resource, there should also be requirement of communication between the different departments. Every department should give data regarding the vacancies and the number of employees required, the expected capabilities, expected qualification, all these, right? Therefore, without communication, nothing is possible. Communication starts from the day one of the existence of the organization and it continues forever. When the communication stops, then the existence of the organization ceases, right? Therefore, without communication, it is not possible to do anything. So, let us discuss what exactly communication is, right? Now, I am standing in front of you all and I am sharing my viewpoints, I am sharing knowledge with you, and that sharing process is done with the help of communication, right? Without communication, we cannot build any relationship, we cannot motivate, we cannot lead, we cannot direct, we will not be able to do anything, okay? Then, what is communication? Communication in simple words is a process of exchange of ideas, views, facts, feelings, etc. between two or more persons to reach common goals or common understanding, okay? It is a process of exchanging ideas, views, facts or feelings between two or more person, okay, to reach common goals of the organization. Say for example, your class teacher says that next week we are going to organize college day and every class is expected to perform a program for 20 minutes. The guidelines of the programs is given to you and you start working on it. You make a team, you plan what are the different types of programs that to be performed. If you have to plan, then you should discuss with your friends. You should give your ideas, right? Then ideas of your friends should also be considered. Then after gathering all ideas, opinions, facts, everything, then you come to the common conclusion. You select finally a program for 20 minutes, right? Whatever we have to do, then there must be exchange of ideas between two or more people for the achievement of common goals of the organization, okay? The communication is derived from the Latin word communis, okay? It is derived from the Latin word communis, which means common, okay. The meaning of the word communis means common, that means common understanding, okay, common understanding. What is the objective of communication? The objective of communication is understanding of the message or the information, right. So, here I am going to quote only one definition. If you open your textbooks, there are several definitions you can go through, okay. It is your choice, any of the definition can be written for the examination, it is your choice. Here I am going to quote only one definition, that is definition given by Louis Allen. What he says that communication is the sum of all things, okay. It is the sum of all things a person does, sum of all things a person does, okay, when he wants to create an understanding in the mind of another, okay. The sum total of every activity, every action or every effort done by an individual in the way of creating understanding, okay. What is that way? That may be telling ideas or viewpoints or facts or expressing feelings or whatever, okay. It involves a systematic and continuous process of telling, listening, understanding. Therefore, here telling is also important, listening is also important and understanding is also important, right. The person who is willing to share the ideas, he has to share by telling, right. This is my idea, we will be performing this kind of program, right. Telling. Listening, who has to listen? When I am explaining, then it is the duty of the co-partners is to listen to the idea, right. Then they have to understand what I have told should be understood by the fellow members, and whenever they are giving suggestions, it is my duty to listen to them and I should understand what exactly they are willing to say, right. So, therefore, in an organization or in a company, the leader, he should communicate with the subordinates, he should tell the idea, he should tell the information, he should share the feelings or he should give information regarding the plans and procedures and expectations of the top management. Then he has to make sure that whether the employees or the subordinates have understood it or not. If they have not understood, then it is his duty to explain what exactly is required by the employee, okay. So, this is the definition of communication, okay. Depending upon this definition, we can draw some of the features of communication, that is, it is a social process. We know human being is a social animal. So, we want to communicate each and every day with others. Without communication, it is not at all possible to build up any relationship. Maybe in a family, maybe in a workplace, maybe in a group of friends, right. We will not be able to mingle in any group if we are not willing to communicate, right. Therefore, communication is a social process because here we exchange our ideas, our feelings, our thoughts with others, okay. So, we are not telling it to ourselves. I have seen some people who are talking to themselves. They go on talking and nobody will be there to listen, okay. They share their viewpoints, their ideas, whatever within them, okay. They are talking to interperson, whatever inside, maybe Atma or something else, okay. That is something unusual. Here, as a social process, communication should take place between two or more people. Therefore, we call it as a social process and it is a two-way process. I have to tell something and the another person should react. He should understand it. After understanding, he should show response and he should contribute. his viewpoints, okay, and the process goes on continuously. Therefore, we call it as a two-way process, and I only give ideas, share my viewpoints, and other person, the duty of another person is to just listen, then we will not call it as a communication. So, whenever there is communication, the participation of two parties becomes important. Then pervasive function, it is required at every level, maybe top level, maybe middle level, maybe lower level, right. Imagine there is a company and production department, marketing department, human resource department, and research and development, finance department, everything has its general manager. Okay. The general manager, then they communicate with the managing director, okay. They discuss, they try to explain what is needed, right. Any problem is faced, then problem is brought to the notice of the managing director and they seek solution for that. So, communication has to take place, right. And the general managers of different departments, they also communicate, right, because functioning of every department is important for functioning of another department. If production department is not working properly, then the company may not be able to receive profits and it will adversely affect finance department, right. If the production department is not producing the goods properly, then it will adversely affect marketing department, right. So, every department is interconnected, maybe directly they are not connected, but performance of every department, it affects performance of another department. Therefore, communication between peers, that is the general managers of different departments, is also important, and the head of production department, he communicates with the employees working in the production department, there also communication is required. Therefore, communication, it is pervasive, it is important function which has to take place at every level, and it is continuous process. Today I communicate, today I give orders, tomorrow I remain silent, there will not be any communication, that is not possible, right. There is nothing to communicate with machineries. We are talking with the human resource and we have to communicate every day. Whoever the employee, he has to communicate regarding the matters of his work or job. So, it is continuous process and the communication starts right from the first day and it goes on continuing till the last day or last day of life of the organization, okay. And it creates understanding. The objective of communication is understanding, right. Why I am explaining all these matters? Because you have to understand it and you have to get an ability to write in the right answers in the examination. Not only, but knowledge whatever you gained in my class, that should become foundation or fundamentals for your next course, maybe BCom or BBM or CA or whatever, right. So, knowledge whatever you gained at this stage becomes a fundamental or foundation for the next step, then only the objective of teaching becomes successful, right. So, here in organization also, why a leader communicates with the subordinates with an objective of understanding. The viewpoints of the leader must be understood by the subordinates, then only they will be able to work, then only they will be able to contribute effectively and efficiently, okay. These are the characteristic features of communication. And now let us discuss something about elements of communication. How communication takes place exactly, okay. We talk every day, we talk with our parents, we talk with our friends, we talk with our relatives over the phone, right. But we never thought about the communication process. How do we communicate? We do not think about the technical or scientific process behind that, okay. Here how exactly communication takes place. The first party in the communication chain is sender of the message, okay. Here take for example, I am the sender of the message, okay. I am giving my ideas, my viewpoints, my feelings, I am willing to share. So, the person who is willing to share is called as a sender. And the second component is message. What I am going to tell is message. Okay. Here what I am willing to tell, I am going to tell something about directing, something about communication. Okay. The component or the matter or the subject matter, whatever I am going to tell is called as message, right. So, often employees are given notice of meetings, department wise they conduct meetings, and the meetings are conducted with an objective of discussing some prime matters which are not usual or routine in nature. They want to take some of the decisions related to some important matters, right. The problem whatever they are facing is considered as a message, and that message is given by the leader or the manager. So, manager is the sender, and the issue or the complexity or the problem whatever they are facing, that becomes the message. And then encoding. Okay. What is encoding? While giving information, the person has to use some of the symbols. Okay. The communicative symbols are called as encoders. Okay. How do I communicate? Maybe because of words, okay, or maybe because of gestures or postures. Okay. So, whenever if I stare at you, okay, then it is understood that I am angry, right. Some of the behaviors of the student is irritating me, right. So, if I smile, then definitely it is understood that what is my response. Okay. Same way here, the communicator or the sender of the message, he uses some of the codes, maybe in the form of words, pictures, gestures, postures, and those actions are considered as encoding. And the fourth one is media. The path used to communicate is called as media. Which media I am using? Am I giving information face to face, or am I writing a email, or am I writing a letter and posting, right. So, it may be post, it may be over the telephone, it may be an email, or it may be face to face, it may be notice which is to be stick on the notice board, whatever. Okay. The media whatever used to communicate is called as media. The path whatever used to communicate. You might have heard Mann Ki Baat of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, right. Whenever he wishes to address each and every citizen of the country, then he comes in front of television channels, right. He speaks lot many things about the issues of the importance with which the citizen should follow or take care of. Whenever first lockdown was introduced, Prime Minister had given a speech why this lockdown is, what is the responsibility of citizens, why it is much more important to sit at home, right, why we have to take care of ourselves, what is the intensity of coronavirus, what will happen if it starts spreading socially, right. So, the media, whenever we have to communicate, then we use the help of a path, and that path is called as media. Then the next element is decoding, the process of converting symbol. Okay. The process of converting symbol into meaning is called decoding, and the receiver of the message decodes, right. Whenever face to face communication is done, if something is told or some information is given by the leader, then the subordinate listens to it. Okay. That listening, okay, decoding or understanding, right. Whenever I stare at a particular student, then it is understood that something is wrong and some action is needed, right. That is decoding. And the receiver, the last person in the chain. Okay. The person who receives the message, is called as a receiver of the message, and the receiver is the person to whom the message is delivered, right. If a notice is given to employee Mr. A, then Mr. B will not be receiver, Mr. A will be the receiver, right. If general instructions are given to the employees, then every employee will be receiver of the message, right. So, therefore, receiver, and the next element is feedback. The confirmation of understanding the message is feedback. How do we come to know whether the opponent or the receiver has understood the message or not? Because of his response, right. If we ask, did you understand? Yes. If he understands, then he starts working properly. If he didn't understand, then he will clarify his doubts, and again he will communicate. That time he will become the sender, I will become the receiver, right, and the chain goes on continuously. And the last one is noise. Noise means any problem created in the process of communication is called as noise. Any problem created in the process of communication is noise. Say for example, it is heavily raining outside and you are attending a lecture. Then the sound system is not effective, then you may not be able to listen properly what he or she is telling, right. If the person is not audible, if the volume of the voice is very low, then sometimes it happens in the class, right. The voice of the teacher is so soft and it is so, it is not loud, then only the students who are sitting in the front bench are able to listen, and the students sitting in the last bench, they will be busy in their own affairs, right. Sometimes you call your friends or relatives, whenever you talk to them, opponent person goes on telling hello, 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 but whatever you say, they are not able to receive or they are not able to listen, right. Sometimes the voice breaks, one word is not listened properly. That kind of obstacles, barriers are called as a noise, okay. Any obstacle created may be faulty encoding or faulty decoding. I have told in one sense, but the another person has understood in a different way, okay. Sometimes a single word has different meanings. So, it is the intelligence of the sender as well as the receiver to express or use that word in a such a way that the receiver understands in the same meaning. And it is the common sense of the receiver also to understand the meaning of the word even though it has some other meaning. It is the duty or common sense of the receiver to understand the exact meaning of the word which suits, fits in that particular situation, okay. These are the elements or components of communication process, that is sender, message, encoding, media, decoding, receiver, feedback and noise, okay. Then next we will discuss something about importance of communication. Why communication is important? Communication is key for the success of every activity in the organization. A person without communication skill is considered as useless. Students generally after their education, maybe UG or PG, they attend interviews, okay. Only few students get selected. Marks are very important only at a certain point, but afterwards your capabilities are valued much more than your marks. You may be having 95% or 100%. Nowadays students are scoring 600 out of 600. I don't know how, but they are scoring 600 out of 600. So, we definitely cannot say that A student who has scored 100% marks is best. He is good in communication, he is having good knowledge, he is considered as the best source, we may not say, because he might have referred the old question papers, he might have mugged up and written in the examination. Memory means a lot, right? Memory is given much more importance sometimes in writing answers and time management, right? And that marks only will not be considered as yardstick to measure the capacity, but while considering in interviews, the communication skills becomes important trait of an candidate. The candidate who has excellent communication skills will be offered a job rather than who has only good score. I am having knowledge is important, but it is equally important the knowledge whatever I have should be transmitted to others, and I should be able to transmit in a such a way that the opponent understands, right? Therefore, the communicator should have the common sense of how to talk, how to influence, what information to be given and what is not given, okay? There is a group of scholars, and for a group of scholars I am supposed to give a lecture, then I should be very careful enough in using words. I should use big words which are not understood by a common person, right? If the same speech or same words is used by me while addressing a group of small children, I am attending a function of nursery annual day, and there I am supposed to give a speech, and that speech will be totally different because I am talking to small children of 4 to 5 years age, right? If I am talking in front of bank employees, then the way I talk, the way I articulate, that should be totally different, right? Therefore, communication is the key for success. Whatever we say motivation, whatever we say leadership, whatever we say regarding supervision, everything has to take place with the help of communication, right? A leader becomes effective only when he is able to communicate effectively, right? If he fails in communicating, then there will not be any value for his post or position. He will be considered as total failure as a leader. Therefore, a successful leader, successful manager always should have good communication skills, okay? Therefore, why communication is important? The first aspect is it is basis of coordination. In the first chapter, we have studied regarding coordination. We say that coordination is essence of management. If you have to manage, we have to manage everything, and there must be coordination between every activity, even though they are contradictory in nature. As I said just now, there is no connection between production department and finance department, finance and marketing and human resource. They are totally working in different perspectives. The goal of every department is different, but there should be coordination between all the departments, because the company, the organization works because of effort of every department. Therefore, there must be coordination. If we have to achieve coordination between departments, coordination between top level, middle level, between middle level, lower level, what is required? Communication is required. If we want to achieve coordination between the members of a team or subordinates, then also there is requirement of communication. Therefore, communication is considered as basis of coordination. Then it helps for the smooth working of a company. Smooth working means the company is doing its daily activities perfectly. It is meeting its daily challenges, okay? Company has daily targets, company has monthly targets, company has annual targets, company has lifetime target, okay? To achieve every target, communication is required. Even to perform the day-to-day activities, communication is required. The day-to-day activities are performed without any problem, without any hurdle, without any obstacle, and that is possible only with the help of communication. So, there must be process of giving instruction, orders, motivating, leading the team, and the subordinates should follow the instructions. They should get inspiration from the leader, and everything is possible only because of communication. Then basis of decision making, right? If there are 2 to 3 alternatives, we are facing a problem and we are discussing how to solve the problem, okay? There are 2 to 3 ways of solving a problem, right? For example, consider one student is irregular to the college. 1 week he comes, next week he remains absent. During examinations, the student is not to be seen in the campus. The students, most of the free times they spent in nearby shops rather than in the college libraries, or rather than doing the given homework, or at least in the ground for their physical fitness, okay. Why he is regularly not coming to the college? That has a reason, that is a problem, right? That problem has to be solved. How to solve the problem? One way, talk to the student individually, call him to the college and ask his problems, counsel him. The second way is contact his parents and inform that your son or daughter is irregular to the college, right? The third way is taking strict action, dismissing from the college or giving transfer certificate, okay? Which way has to be selected, right? If we give transfer certificate, we can give transfer certificate, no problem. But we have to think before giving a transfer certificate. If transfer certificate is given, then the future of the student is spoiled, right? We are creating a problem for the future or life of the student. That shouldn't happen. Therefore, the best way, we have to decide which is the best way. Call the student and the parent, talk to them personally, talk to them friendly, right? And try to find out what exactly is the problem, why the student is not attending the classes, what is his interest, and try to provide opportunity to express his views. What is the problem and what makes him to remain absent, right? Same situation, there are so many such situations which are occurred in day-to-day life of the organization, where employees face different problems and employees' behavior gives negative impact to the day-to-day working of the company, and a company is facing so many challenges from the competitors and challenges from the external environment, whatever, and those challenges should be faced, those problems must be solved by taking decision, and decision taking is possible only with the help of communication, and it increases managerial efficiency. An effective manager is one who is able to tackle the problems of the subordinate. The effective leader is one who understands his team. Effective leader is one who maintains unity in the team. Effective leader is one who is able to flourish the talents of the subordinates. And if the leader has to do all these things, he has to continuously communicate, right? Unless and until I talk to the subordinate personally, I will not come to know what is his mindset, what are his motives, what he wants, what he expects, right? What are his capabilities, what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses, really I will not come to know, right? Therefore, to build up managerial abilities, taking decisions, leading the team, motivating, everything is considered as a managerial abilities, and that managerial talent can be built up only with the help of communication. Then promotes operational and industrial peace. Operational peace means there should not be any problem in the day-to-day working of the given job, maybe in production department, maybe in finance department, maybe in human resource or in marketing. Every requirement has to be fulfilled by the top officials and everything is going smoothly. Then there will be positive work environment, and creating a good organizational climate is the responsibility of every management, and that is done with the help of communication, right. And industrial peace, generally there are clashes between top management and the workers. Workers' demands are different and management expectations are different, right. So, you might have observed lockouts, strikes. Why employees go for strike? Because if the policies of the management are not favoring the workers, then definitely they will go for strike. Whenever employee union or labor union calls for a strike, then the regular work will be stopped, products will not enter into market, the sales will be declined, right, and it will definitely adversely affect the profits of the company, and even adversely affect the shareholders also. Shareholders, they might start withdrawing capital contribution, right. Therefore, to solve all these problems, they have to talk to workers, what is their demand, what is their expectation from the company, that has to be understood, right, and that is possible only because of communication. Then establishes effective leadership. So, just in the previous class we have discussed a lot many things about leadership. A good leader has to communicate continuously, a good leader has to understand the expectations, the motives of the employees, and that is possible only with the help of communication, and it boosts morale, right. Whenever there is good communication, healthy communication, continuous communication, then a kind of belongingness, a kind of security, a kind of psychological support, that feeling will be created inside the minds of the employees, and employees definitely they will start working, they will start contributing maximum to the betterment of the company. Okay. That is why communication is much more important, because it is basis of coordination, and it helps for smooth working of the company, and it increases managerial efficiency, it promotes operational and industrial peace, it establishes effective leadership, and it boosts morale of the company. And in the next class we will discuss about what are the types of communication. What are the different channels of communication? There are so many channels called formal channel, informal channel, and there are some barriers in communication. Why communication fails? Why the opponent is not able to understand? What are the problems in effective communication? Okay? Those matters will be discussed in the next class. Thank you.